Do you want to lose body fat and build muscle? These two things together are called body recomposition or recomping. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Before we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you never miss another video. I've been in the fitness industry for over 10 years, training on the gym floor and coaching women online. And I can tell you about 90% of them come to me with this goal. I want to tighten up. I want this to be firmer. I want to have a nice bum. I want to have shapely legs. So really what all this is saying is they want to build muscle in certain areas and lose enough body fat to reveal that muscle. So let's talk about how you achieve that. The muscle gain, the fat loss, when do you do each one of these? So I do want to start by saying I have a video on how to achieve a full body transformation where I talk about how I program these into phases, when I do them with clients and that kind of thing. So I will link that here. Make sure you check that out. Now, here's what I want you to know. You might think I want to do both these things, build muscle and lose fat. So can I do them at the same time? So here's the thing. There's 3 scenarios where this would be possible to do optimally, to build muscle and lose fat at the exact same time. Number 1, if you are obese, if you have quite a bit of body fat to lose, you can very effectively build muscle while losing fat. Number 2, you're taking anabolic steroids. So anabolic steroids profoundly increase how much muscle someone can build beyond their genetic potential. And they're also going to allow you to maintain that muscle much easier while you're losing body fat. Side note, this is a super important thing to note because I used to look up to professional bodybuilders, for example, or very fit looking people who were enhanced. So it's just something to note. Not everyone who looks super fit is enhanced, but it is a thing and it definitely helps them with simultaneous muscle gain and fat loss. Or the third scenario is new lifters. This is known as newbie gains. It seems a little bit unfair, but the more time you spend training, the more conditioned you become, the slower progress moves. It's called the law of diminishing returns. So if you are brand new to training, even if you don't have a whole lot of weight to lose, you're not obese, you're not taking anabolic steroids, you can quite effectively and with much less of a stimulus build muscle. And people should really take advantage of this, especially if you are younger and you start training, because then you're going to have more of the high levels of the hormones that govern muscle building. So initially, if you're a new lifter, even no matter what age you're at, or you're deconditioned. So for instance, my clients who had a baby, a lot of them weren't training at a very intense level during the pregnancy, or they took quite a bit of time off, obviously after they give birth, and then they would be deconditioned. So when they come back to it, they can have a period where they more effectively build muscle and lose fat at the same time. But what about if you've been training consistently? You're not on anabolic steroids, you're not obese. Can you do both at the same time? It's a little bit more nuanced than yes or no. This is the age-old question. Can you build muscle and lose fat at the same time? My short answer and my honest opinion from my years of experience working with clients, if you do both at the same time and you're in this scenario, you're chasing 2 rabbits and catching none. So what's the secret then? It's that you should do these things in phases. And this is important to note because in my personal experience, I used to always chase fat loss and only fat loss. And maybe even when I did know that muscle building was beneficial, because I think a lot of women go through a period of being afraid to build muscle and not wanting to lift heavy. I think even me being past that stage and knowing, hey, this is a good thing, I do want to be resistance training, I still had a period where I was like, yeah, but like I'm not as lean as I want to be. So why would I just focus on building muscle? I still need to like lose body fat. And it was like this never ending cycle. But here's the thing. That made me miss out on so much long-term progress. Okay. Because I was always on low calories, trying to stay in a deficit. I was, first of all, depriving myself psychologically. I was in diet mode. And second of all, while I was building muscle to a certain degree, because you're not going to get zero muscle gains if you're in a caloric deficit. You might build a little bit of muscle. It's just not as effective as if you're eating more calories and more protein. While I was making some progress, it definitely would have been greater if I dedicated time earlier to just muscle building. So that is currently what I'm doing right now. I've set aside a few months because muscle building it's not like a quick little phase like fat loss can be. It is months and years. That's how long it takes to build muscle. But one phase I typically would recommend at least 4 to 6 months. And that's about how long I'm giving myself now. So the really important thing to remember with muscle building is that you need to know what you're doing. So you need to know how to increase your caloric intake gradually, how to train at a high enough effort that you're actually building muscle, because I'm sure all of us can guess what happens when you're just eating more calories. I mean, that's going to equal fat gain. So again, I get into more of this specific aspect of it in my other video. Make sure you watch the one that I linked. The take home message that I want you to get is that recomping, changing your body composition, is not one phase, okay? You can do it in one phase, but it's not going to be as effective. And even if you are aiming to recomp in one phase, like you're aiming to lose fat and build muscle at the same time for whatever reason and under whatever circumstances, that's still going to take time. It's going to take time if you're obese and you're on anabolic steroids, or you're a new lifter, but it's going to take even more time if you're someone who's been exercising. So the time is going to go by already. You want to do things in the most optimal way possible. And again, this is why I highly recommend taking the dedicated time to do that muscle building phase. Muscle building is when you're going to see the most transformative change in your physique, period. Fat loss is fat loss. You can see a huge transformation from losing body fat, of course, depending on how much fat you have to lose. But in order to sustain the fat loss, in order to really see your body take on that sculpted shape, the toned shape, the tightness, however you want to describe it, ultimately the muscle building is really, really important. It's the most important, and it's the phase that women tend to push to the wayside. So don't sleep on the muscle building. It's the most important part of recomping. But be warned, if you go into a muscle building phase and you don't know what you're doing, you're just like, oh, I'm just going to wing it, you could end up with more unwanted fat gain than you bargained for. And obviously most people do not want that. And then you're going to have to lose that body fat eventually if you want to lose that body fat. And with fat loss is going to come some inevitable muscle loss. And you could just avoid all that by having the right plan. So if you want to recomp in the new year, you want a game plan that's actually going to help you successfully build muscle and lose fat and keep it off in the most efficient and proven way possible, I would love to help you. I'm taking on 5 more clients this year to work on just that. So if that's you, I'm going to leave my questionnaire right here in the description. You can tell me about your situation. And if I feel like I can help you, my team will reach out and we can chat about your goals and come up with a game plan. And if you're not ready to take that step just yet, that is all good. But do make sure you take the step of hitting that subscribe button once again, because we are going to talk more about muscle building, fat loss, how to optimize your training, all the things on this channel this year. So do not miss out on that. Hit that button and make sure to join my Facebook community, Strength Training and Muscle Building for Women. This is when I go even deeper on all the things that we're talking about on this channel that are going to accelerate your results and take them to the next level. It was so much fun talking about this stuff with you. I'll see you in the next one.